welcome to the Improv. So, as always, I'm your host, Spencer. With me today, I have a very special guest, and I always have a special guest, so I've decided to take the person's first letter of their first name, add an adjective before it, like that old improv game, and make it new every time a new and special guest. Today, I have with me Cool Casey. I was going to do something different, but
yeah, it works.
The only C that there is for adjectives is cool.
In my heart, if you think I'm cool, that's all that matters. That'll make my day enough.
All right, the episode's over. Thanks so much for coming out. Casey, you and your improv experience. What is your improv experience?
My improv experience, so I've done improv for a very, very long time, ever since I was a child.
You act like, so this is also, I realize you're like literally a decade younger than me.
That is true. And I'm talking like I'm an old geezer that's, been through 3 wars.
Sorry, not quite a decade, but almost.
Back in my, when I was younger.
Flip your numbers around and that's pretty much where I'm at. Actually, it is where I'm at now.
Oh man, but no, my improv experience. I grew up. I've grown up doing improv. I've had multiple fantastic improv teachers. I grew up kind of watching like Whose Line Is It Anywhere, and it was super inspired. Like I went and saw like Colin Mockery and Brad Shearwood's 2-man show, and absolutely just fell in love with it. And I just have always been. I grew up in a family of 5. I'm the youngest of 5, and so what I've always found the way to try to get like my family's attention is just kind of to be funny and just to kind of be the comedic.
My brother just had to be better looking than me, and that was what did it for him.
Yeah, I was exactly. I really.
My brother's younger than me. And he's like in good shape. He's got a house. He's doing really well, isn't he?
Yeah.
And so my parents like him better.
Oh.
I don't know. I'm the artsy type. He's an engineer.
That's how I really am the only artsy person. Well, not my dad. My dad's a cartoonist dropping.
But that's the thing.
Yeah, exactly.
My brother was my dad was almost a professional drummer.
Well, there you go.
And my mom was in the choir, and
Everyone's
she played
got a little bit
French
of
horn and the piano.
Everyone has a little bit of art tucked inside them. You just have to.
Then my mom had me and decided to be a teacher, and then when she had my brother, she decided to not deal with other people's kids because she had all these kids of her own, and by all 2. And then my dad was supposed to be a pro basketball player, and then he didn't get picked to do pro basketball.
You do have the height for it. I have when I first met.
I'm the shortest guy in my family.
That's impressive.
I'm 6.
My parents are both.
I'm 6.5 inch. When I go to theme park auditions, I'm 5'10.25. So
my parents are both the size of hobbits, and
my dad is 6'3".
All of my siblings are very much taller than them. See? One of my very good friends, Devin.
My dad is 6'3", my brother's 6'5".
My mom is 5'6", my dad's 5'7", and I'm 6'1".
I think my mom is like 5'8".
Interesting. Literally, one of my very good
depends where you grow up. I've learned that
that's also true.
Like Florida, we got tall people.
Hey, Indiana, we're corn fed. You can go right outside and just pick the corn right off the husk and just
Look, where I'm from in Florida, we got some corn husks.
No,
I just don't like corn.
One of my really good buddies, Devin, he's 5'5". It's a perfect dynamic because we're like every.
How tall are you?
6'1".
Oh, you're taller than me.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I'm 6 foot and a half inch.
I've always thought you were taller.
And a half inch.
And a half.
I'm taking
that half counts. That matters. That's important.
When it comes to certain auditions, I'm 6 foot. When it comes to other ones, I'm 6'1".
But when my buddy
when it comes to theme park auditions, I'm 5'10.25".
When my buddy first met my parents, because it was after a show that we did, and all the parents were coming out, we were greeting everyone, and Devin just looks at my parents and he just these are your parents, and he pulls me aside and he goes, "How the hell are you so tall?" And I was like, honestly, I couldn't tell you. He's like, honestly, it's unfair. And I was like, I can't shave off my height and give it exactly.
Literally the cornmeal. Cornmeal is we just had grits, which I also didn't like until I had them one day, and I was like, all right, this is fine, but I've learned it's hominy grits I like. I don't like the yellow ones as much because they taste more corny.
I've never been a grits guy.
I like cornbread though.
Oh, cornbread's my thing. Cornbread.
Like cornbread.
Beans and cornbread. I have southern roots in my family.
I was but I've never I would say I'm pretty much southern, and I don't know beans and cornbread.
A lot of my relatives are Kentucky.
It's like chili and cornbread.
Hey, a lot of my relatives grew up.
Is chili a soup?
Yes.
I think it depends.
Why would it not be?
Well, here's the thing. If you get chili in California, it is just it just plops onto a plate.
Because also you can also
you gotta have juice in the chili.
It's gotta have the right viscosity and the right.
It's literally just thick chunk of.
It's just
it's no longer soup. It's like a chili bowl.
By the time it's in your system, it's gonna harden. It's gonna feel like glue in your system.
Exactly.
And it's not a good time.
Anyway, so speaking of gluing things together, improv. Back to your improv experience. So you've been doing it for longer than a lot of people have.
I've loved it, and it's very funny. I have
longer than I've been alive.
I have buddies, two of my very good buddies, and anytime we're going out to a party or like a meet or like a social gathering, we're just like, we don't know what to do. We just start improvising just on the spot, and we'll just come up with crazy names, crazy characters, crazy lines, and just do the silliest of things just for our own entertainment. We don't care who anyone's around, so we just do it for our own entertainment. And yeah, I mean, I've studied improv many different places. Studied improv at Neighborhood Playhouse for a little bit. Studied at NYU for summer senior like camp kind of thing. And yeah, it's always been something that has made me very happy because it just allows me to just get out of my own head and just kind of be ridiculous. I was the co-president of Zookeepers at Azusa Pacific University, our improv troupe.
What a resume builder!
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that's like the shiny glow.
Right at the top.
Right at the top.
Co-president.
Everything else is everything else in my resume is written in pencil, but just that is like in gold ink. That way it just really shines and really.
We bought a zoo.
But yeah, so improv's really just been a huge part of my life, and it's always been something. It's always helped me. I feel like it's always helped me be a better actor because it allows me to get out of my head, and it allows me to just make bold, crazy, ridiculous choices, regardless of how ridiculous they may be. Sometimes they'll work. Sometimes.
It doesn't.
And it also just allows me. I'm a very physical person. I love making. There was one time I did improv in a tent. I think that was literally what the show was called, Improv in a Tent. And I started one of the bits that
we should have called it Attention Improv.
Now it's ruined. Now that whole experience has been tainted. Now knowing that it could have been called.
Or this event is so intense. Extreme improv. It's intense.
Extreme improv.
Which you can actually subscribe to. You can find that down in the comments below.
Exactly.
Extreme Improv. They're based out of UK. Just picked up Wham Bam Improv Jam.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
See every Wednesday, 5 Pacific, 1 a.m. UK time.
Yeah.
If you want to come, no, it's literally GMT.
Oh, really?
1 a.m. GMT.
Learn something new every day.
1 a.m. UK time, which is 5 p.m. Pacific, because this show was picked up from Los Angeles.
Oh, sure.
And they picked it up.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
They also have things that are in UK time as well, 7 p.m. UK time, which do the math.
Yeah.
And you'll know what time it is in the Pacific.
Use that brain. Use that cranium.
8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. Central.
What is that in military time?
1700.
Ooh.
That's how when I work, they have us put our schedule in, but they have us put 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. But then when they put it in, it's 1 p.m. to 2200. So they switch it based on what it's happening.
Back and forth.
And I was like, let's just either pick one or the other.
Yeah, you think the person that composes those is just having a silly day, and he's just like, you know what? I'm gonna make it mountain time this time. I'm gonna make it.
When we get our schedule, it's in military time. But when we get if we get a workflow, we have to put in the times of our meal time and our clock out.
Yeah.
We put it in as the regular time. 1542 would be 742.
Okay.
Right? No. Yes. No. 1942 would be
I'm going along with it.
1942. 1542 is 342. But it's all after 12. So it's 0 to 12, and then 12 it becomes 13 to 22, 23, 20, and then 2400 circles back to 0.
Math.
Which I have to do.
That's a good skill though to have. The fact that you can just be able to some people can't even read clocks, and you can just convert time just like that.
Look, sometimes it takes some time, like a clock. Is this an improv scene now?
We're here all day. We'll be here all day.
Well,
don't worry.
We'll be here for the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, ish. I mean, we'll be here forever because it lives online.
We can be. Yeah.
So literally, it's never going away.
It's everlasting. It's going to stay.
It's never going away. Anyway, let's segue.
Were you about to?
I was like, segue.
Oh, okay.
Let's segue. That's my segue. My segues are terrible. Everyone knows that.
Hey, no worries. No worries.
Literally.
There's never been good segues. They're so overdone.
I have some very good segues on certain things that I do for work, but this segues here on the Improv Show, Segue edition. Paul Blart Mall, cop it out. Look, I saw that in theaters, okay? Because I'm old.
So did I. I was old.
I was in college
enough.
when I saw it.
I don't remember how old I was. I just remember I did see it in theaters.
I was like graduating college when that movie came out.
God bless Kevin James and the Paul Blart Mall Cop movies.
Look, I also saw Zookeeper.
I didn't see Zookeeper
in theaters.
What was your first movie you ever saw in theaters?
I think it was Richie Rich. Back in the old 1995.
Back when Macaulay Culkin was still an actor.
Back when Macaulay Culkin was a child.
I think that was his last film. As a child.
No, he was like 8, 9 in that movie.
I thought, but I know
it came out 5 years after Home Alone.
Yeah, that came out 5 years after Home Alone, but I thought it was that was the last one he did as a child.
The twist is that I didn't actually stay for all of Richie Rich because apparently I was bored.
So you walked your very first movie you ever went to in theaters.
As far as I know,
out of it.
I thought for some reason my parents said they took me to Aladdin, but I was like, that came out when I was like a year old. Like
I don't. Everyone's first movie has to be some kind of
Disney
and then
Dream
Pixar movie.
I remember it was Anastasia, and my mom doesn't remember this, but I remember vividly. It wasn't Lion King. I think was supposed to be Lion King was first. I remember Lion King was before Richie Rich, or wait, when did Richie Rich come out? Anyway, Anastasia, I remember during Once Upon a December, I think it was, or Journey to the Past, I remember running up and down the aisle because I did not care. Mom's like, you liked it? I'm like, did I? Because I remember vividly just running up and down the stairs.
Were you the only ones in the theater?
I don't know. I was 6. I don't remember. Other than
I
that,
just imagine a full packed house, and everyone else is just as equally bored, so they just start watching you go down the stairs, and they're like, "This is more entertaining."
But then The Lion King, we were supposed to go see, and then the showtime we wanted to go see was sold out. And I remember my mom said I cried. She's like, "We'll just go in an hour," and I was like, "No, I want to go now." We literally went like an hour later, and everything was fine.
I love that.
And then after that, it was Stuart Little, I think. And Stuart Little, apparently I was terrified, so I had to be taken out of the theater.
Yeah, I mean, you see how tiny little top.
I was 8, though. I shouldn't be that terrified of Stuart Little.
That's just crawling out of your house. That's just like living that doesn't pay rent.
Okay, but here's the thing. Stuart Little at 8 was terrifying, but Jurassic Park 3 at 10, no problems. What?
Well, I mean, you had a... Yeah, that's fair.
That's fair. I think it's because it was like the giant owl scooping up Stuart Little is like what...
That's fair.
Anyway, that being said, do you have any plugs, any pitches, anything you want to share?
You can follow me on my Instagram, LukeDaywalker_23. It's kind of a long story why my Instagram tag is that. I can thank my brother Chris because his is Anakin Daywalker and I'm the younger annoying little brother. So I'm like, I'll be Luke Daywalker and be original. So that's it's a fun little plug. So yeah, that's my plug. You can check out my IMDb. Still growing, still young, still fresh.
The name of the pilot. Yeah, the name of your pilot.
It's the name of my autobiography.
Still young, still growing, still fresh.
Still young, still growing, still fresh. They even had the finger. This is the cover of my autobiography.
I have a headshot like that. I'll show it to you later. I'm not dropping it on the links. You can actually find it on my Facebook page.
I love that.
But at one point I was doing like this whole like mini session, and I was like, I want that one, and it was just me going. And I had like a red tie. Anyways.
I love it.
Casey, thank you for thank you so much. Hold on, y'all. Here we go.
Bring it in.
Thank you so much for joining us here today on the Improv Summit.
Thank you.
As always, I have one last question for you, and that question is, we talk a lot about improv as far as like. There's a vast variety of improv, and I always get this question of like, Spencer, you do a lot of improv. Where should I take improv? And I can't answer that question because it's a very vast question. If someone came up to you and asked you that question, what would be one piece of advice or one tip you'd give to them to help guide them on their improv journey?
Stay out of your head. Stay out of your head. I feel like I always say that as actors, your biggest weakness is your own brain.
Yeah.
I mean, it is important because like you want to take down. You obviously have to use it to process like what's happening. You have to use your brain to figure out like what does my character want? What is the character like? What are certain tics? What are certain traits? What is the moment that is happening right now? Like you have to process it on your brain. But at the end of the day, if you could just take everything, and I feel like it also applies to improv. You could just take everything that's just out of your brain and just kind of just go with the flow and just kind of go with what's ever happening with the scene. Someone, it's gifts in improv are like they always say in improv like if someone throws a suggestion at you, they're throwing a gift at you.
Sure.
And the last thing you want to do is just hold on to the gift and not open it or not even do anything.
Unless it's a white elephant.
That is also if it's a white elephant. Well, sometimes it could be a good white elephant.
It could be a good white elephant gift. So
I've got a good white elephant. I got potpourri as a white elephant.
Or people that think it's a terrible suggestion
I love it.
And it's actually good.
Exactly.
Give me that poopery.
Poopery, yes, that's exactly. Yeah, poopery. Haha, I actually love it. But
I actually have some
Anyway.
As if it matters. I also have toilet paper, just so everyone knows.
Just to be clear, that we're not just...
I also have a bidet.
Those are nice, though.
They're so weird,
They're so nice.
The first time you do it,
the first time you try, everyone has to experience it at least once. My parents just got a bidet, and I was so shocked. I opened it, and they were like,
boy, is it a time saver. Let me tell you.
You sometimes just one wipe, clean. All right, you're good to go.
It is a time saver.
There you go. But yeah, to the whole, just...
Get an extra 5 minutes of your life back. Sponsored by anyone? Any bidets want to sponsor us?
Any bidets want to sponsor? Hey, hit us up. But back to the point, and my piece of advice, just stay out of your head. Your head is your biggest weakness. Don't listen to the little voice inside your head that's telling you that's also true. Listen to your little voice inside your head saying like, no, this is a dumb idea. No, this isn't going to work. Sometimes if just give it a try.
Oh yeah. 100%.
If it works, great. If it doesn't work, hey, that's why you have other friends like at Improv that'll help you, and they'll go along with your idea, and maybe they'll make it better.
That's why you have other friends at Improv.
Exactly.
Great. I love that. I love that, staying out of your head. Something that I always have struggled with as a Capricorn type A.
Hey, I'm also a Capricorn.
Oh, yeah? When's
January 8th.
Just recently. I'm the 10th.
Get out. No way.
But not the same year, clearly.
No.
I'm the 10th. But I'm a Capricorn type A and neurotic by nature, and I'm also a very left-brain person. So for me, getting out of my head may be a little different than for those of you that are very right-brained individuals. But it is a good point, because when I got out of my head, it made it a lot easier for me to rationalize using my analytical side and mixing it and finding that balance with the creative side, so that I'm not just constantly in my head.
It's just what it is that you're just...
I get in my head to get out.
As Sanford Meisner says, you have to flow down the river of your own impulses.
Exactly.
I think there's no better way of wording it than how he did.
Yeah, just hop on a boat and hang out with Meisner.
Yeah, exactly.
Great.
Yeah, it probably
the old man in the sea. I guess that's what it was about.
That is true.
Sanford Meisner on a boat. True. Anyways, thanks Casey for joining us. Wow, y'all, I'm not cutting this out. Thanks everyone so much for joining us here today. No, not everyone. It's Casey. Thanks Casey for joining us here.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Take 2, which you can't do in improv because you gotta keep going.
Everything's first take. You have to go with it.
So we're gonna keep with it. Thanks Casey for joining me here today on the Improv Summit. I did say that was the last question I had for you, but as always on this show, I'm a little bit of a Paul Giamatti, a big fat liar, which by the way I did see in theaters. And I have another question for you. We're talking a lot about improv. You want to do some improv?
Yeah, why not?
Yes,
let's do it. Yes, and.
So let's do some improv. So as we know, improv is very vast. We get a lot of different suggestions, some of which are like really great, some of which are...
And sometimes it's just pineapple.
Well, I was literally going to say
Were you about to say that? Everyone.
I was going to say improv, pineapple,
go to
pickle,
any
pizza.
show. Someone. You're my least favorite person. Someone in the audience is going to be like, pineapple. It's how original.
It's improv, pineapple, pickle, pizza, and comedy. Well, we're trying.
Oh, wow.
But that being said, I thought we'd do something with like very specific scenario between 2 characters. And maybe in a way that might not necessarily make any sense, but we're going to make it work. Let's have you read. I'm saying this because I know what this is. So I want to see Casey's real reaction on screen to this. So whenever you're ready, read this one out loud.
A bricklayer and a goat work. Oh, a bricklayer. Oh, I had to read. I was struggling for it. A bricklayer and a goat work together to build a brand new barn as quickly as possible for the apocalypse dawns upon them.
Dawns upon them. Yeah.
Dawns upon.
Before the apocalypse happened.
Oh, dawn. Oh, dawns.
It just dawned on you. So this scene is about a bricklayer and a goat. So Casey, as the guest on the show, I'm gonna have you do improv casting. You're gonna cast out who's gonna play which character in this.
Can I be the goat?
Sure can. I'd love to be the goat. Great. So I'll be the bricklayer. All right. So let's do it. Thank you.
Fantastic. Oh God.
Be careful.
I almost broke myself. All right.
You are a goat.
That's true.
All right. Not the goat.
Not
a
the
goat.
A goat.
All right. Whenever you're ready. Thank you.
All right.
Wrench. Thank you. Hammer. Thank you. Brick. Thank you. Why am I using a hammer for laying bricks? That's what I thought you'd say. What do you think, Billy? I think this is a... It's nice, right? Nice and sturdy. I think it's going anywhere. Maybe I should build a little higher, though. bricklaying material.
Mm-hmm.
Check. Another brick. Thank you. Brick. Brick. Thank you. Brick. And if you want to help out, just let me know. Mm-hmm. All right. Now look at this. All right, Billy, we got the bricks. We got the material that sticks the bricks together. Is it good? I don't know if you're happy or if you're not happy. You just kind of sound the same every time. You good?
Look, I do so much as a goat, and I feel like I get no appreciation. The apocalypse is literally coming us from that direction, and I'm doing my best to give you the emotional support to lay these bricks down. What more do you want from me? I am a goat.
I mean, the emotional support is nice.
Thank you. Now, can I go back to doing what is the only thing I'm good at in a time of a crisis?
If you must.
Thank you.
Brick. And scene. Thanks ever so much for coming to the Improv Summit. As always, I'm your host, Spencer. That's Casey. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.